Getting old is awful. Your stomach just gets worse. Being in the military is really bad too. I used to, so you like you have to eat at the chow hall, right? It's required for a very long time if you're enlisted. It takes a while to get out of that shit. But the one at tech school in Mississippi only had like 4 options, and 3 of them were fried food and pizza. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm eating either a turkey sandwich or grilled chicken every single meal. And so that's what I did. And then I watched them, and I kept getting like stomach issues. I was like, what the fuck? And the first thing people said was like, you know not to drink the water, right? Like from the water fountains? I was like, what do you mean? They're like, here. And they would fill up a water bottle, and you would see all this like silt and yellow shit just slowly filter to the bottom.
That's fine. That's nutrients.
Mississippi's just a horrifying place. So I was like, well, no, I haven't been doing that because I'm not crazy. I noticed that on the first day. And then so I started watching the dudes cooking the chicken when I would walk through, and they just constantly cross-contaminate. They would like pick up the cooked chicken and put it in the thing, and then they'd grab a raw chicken, and they go back and forth. And I was like, all right, so just turkey sandwiches forever. And 2 weeks after I switched, there was a bout of salmonella that hit the entire base.
Of course.
100% it was from that chicken. And so they would do announcements every morning that were like, if anybody is suffering intestinal problems like anal leakage, nonstop diarrhea, every morning for 2 weeks, we're like, we know more of you guys have this. Please, like, we're trying to give you medicine. Just let us know.
I want to point of emphasis here. If you're suffering from anal leakage, your problems are slightly more severe than just salmonella.
Yeah, maybe your problems are more severe, buddy. I'm doing just fine with my anal leakage. Don't tell me how I'm living my life.
I just imagine everyone standing up and doing a Spartacus thing with, I have anal leakage.
Whatever comes out there is just the fleeing gastrointestinal refugees from having to experience my Slavic stomach. Germs have so much more to fear from my digestive tract than vice versa. It just looks like the land in Africa where Scar lives. But like, you know how when you get to like bathrooms, like public restrooms, some people won't use public restrooms, and then sometimes there's like the little toilet cover that you can put over the seat, the paper thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that.
All that shit used to creep me out. And then someone was like, do you understand? Like, you're carrying around just a big Slavic ass. Nothing worse than that is going to hit that toilet today or maybe ever. So like, this is everyone else's problem, not your own. And I was like, oh yes, I don't give a fuck now. A bodega bathroom, airports, I don't give a shit. It's fine.
Dude, I had to go once when I was using the train, and was in between while I'm waiting for the train at Grand Central. That was the most horrifying bathroom I've ever used.
I've knocked that shit out.
Oh my god! I walked in and I was
Penn
just
Station,
like,
right?
Yeah, sorry, Penn Station.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there.
I was alarmed. I was like, I've used porta potties in Florida that are better and more sanitary than this. This is terrifying.
See, it is very gross, the Penn Station bathroom, as it should be. You know, what are you expecting when you walk in?
It met expectations.
Yeah, it was absolutely that. And as you're walking up, you get this sort of anxiety, like, oh my God, there's a lot of people in here, and this is going to be disgusting and all that. But then you just have to move sort of the frame of reference. When I enter that back area of stalls, it's like a gunslinger popping through the saloon doors. Like everyone turns, finishes shaking, and runs out. Yet again, I bring the storm. I'm not afraid of this toilet or this train station.
What is it like about like the Japanese that have figured out public toilets to a way that the Americans simply cannot fucking fathom? The public toilets in like Tokyo will play like comfort music, so you're not being rude to the people around you.
That's more for the toilet.
Also,
I'm putting the toilet at ease.
Years of being a nerd and liking dragons and anime, I have never once wanted to go to Japan until you told me the toilets are nice to you, and now I want to go.
If every time I rip one, it starts playing Cruel Angel Thesis, I'm in, buddy. Day one.
Dumb and Awful. This is Brett at Relentless Board.
It's Rob at Dumb and Awful.
It's Brad at Fizz for Shizzle.
Don't say the same thing I say.
This is Mason.
Copy. Think of your own brilliant professional copy.
Fucking God. This is Mason. You can potentially find me at Zizek Thani.
Wow, really lay some suspense there. Like you're biting your lip going, find me, but it's just a bunch of dumb tweets about Hitler and butts.
Who's this mysterious stranger?
Oh, God. All right.
Great promo. People are going to love this one.
I was reading this thing. Sorry, we don't have to get anything yet. I was reading this thing right before we started, and Kamala came out and said like, "Hey, yeah, if pharma companies are doing sketchy shit, I'll totally pull the patent." And people were like, "Can we do that?" And she was like, "Sure. You just have to have the wherewithal." One, doesn't feel like she's going to do that, but the entire comment section. This is my fault. I shouldn't read the comments ever, but I'm a masochist.
Thank you for bringing this to us. Go on.
The entire comment section was just a series of people leaping to defend the poor, abused pharma companies. Just all people being like, how dare you steal profits from pharma? This is the Soviet Union now, you fucking monsters.
That's how innovation happens. You have to pay the CEO at the top about $80 billion per year, and he innovates medicine, and he's the one doing it. It's awesome.
It's really obnoxious, the whole pharma system here. Like, and yeah, it's all going to CEO salaries and lobbying and shit that's not essential to R&D, because I know for a fact, Brett, you know this too. We can get the same sorts of drugs. Blue Chew only costs $19 to $29 a month, depending on how many pills you want, right? If they can do it, why can't we?
I don't know, but that's why I stick with Blue Chew, bluechew.com.
Until the day we get Medicare for all, and we get our Bernie Bro pills, as I like to call them.
Bernie Boner pills?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's such a visceral reaction.
After Medicare for all, you'll be able to go to any doctor and just say, I want boner pills, and they
No,
legally can't
no,
refuse
no.
it to you.
Absolutely not. We are going to have sildenafil literally in the water fountains, okay? I am going to be walking around at full mast, but for no longer than 6 hours of time, because that's a medical emergency. I shouldn't have to. Why should I have to take a pill to get an erection when it should just be there anyway?
This is that liberal mindset, though, because I believe that a real Marxist-Leninist would put tadalafil in the water. Why do these half measures? 24 hours of dick every single time.
Hell yeah.
Sorry to steal from your memoir's title.
It's okay. I'll come up with a new one.
So I got my schedule for my rotations for next year, where I will be learning about things. I am doing my women's health rotation in fucking Kentucky.
Oh, I can't wait to hear stories.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, on the plus side, you'll be helping people who actually need it.
That's true. I mean, I won't be helping much of anything because I'll be doing a rotation, so I'll just be like, oh my God, what's happening? But yeah, this is going to be rough.
What's the point of the rotation if you're not actually... Is it just to see what you're into and you're going to specialize in?
So the idea of the PA is that you have to be able to fit into a lot of places. And, 50 years ago, some people decided that these are the 7 things that you need to have a rotation in. And that's still around today for some reason, even though I'm not going to go into peds or women's health or anything like that. But I need to do a rotation in them. So here we are.
Hell yeah. I like that medicine hasn't adjusted at all in 50 years. At least as
well, you know
far
what?
as our
Do you
medical
know
school.
Do you know the main reason that residents have such horrific schedules, like 75 hours a week?
Because it's a hazing ritual?
Yeah, because the doctors had to go through it. That's the only fucking reason.
Because no other country does that, right? It's just us.
No. Also, pay hasn't gone up for residents in since the 1950s or 60s. So
Meanwhile, the AMA is just stacking up cash and making sure that there's no new medical schools, if at all possible.
Wait, so what do they do to prevent more medical schools happening?
So it's kind of like the AMA is kind of is really it's like a union / guild. It's much more close to like a cartel.
Yeah, it's a cartel.
And the AMA really wants to control the number of doctors entering the workforce because they want to keep wages high, essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have a lot of it. The AMA helps control pricing for a lot of procedures. They're an insanely powerful entity that nobody fucking knows about.
It's sort of the opposite of the ABA, right? The thing that the AMA sort of watched closely was when pre-recession, this is like the early 2000s, but it's been going on, right? They just started minting tons of lawyers. Every school just created their own law school because you could charge exorbitant tuition, right?
Yep.
And then even if you burnt it in a pile in the center courtyard, you'd still get credit for spending money or like deploying money. So if you just spent a lot of money and charged a lot of money and everyone got guaranteed loans, you could make a mint as a school. Not so great for all those lawyers, but you just juke the career services stats. Nobody gets hired, but it still looks good for the portfolio. I think Obama actually went after them a little bit on that, although not as much as he probably should have. So story of Obama. But yeah, the AMA is the polar opposite of that. Whereas anyone can take an LSAT, get any score, and get into a law school. It may not be your favorite law school, but literally anyone can go to law school if you take the loans. AMA wants to keep their market value like still solid. So we all have to suffer and deal with not having the doctors we need in this country so they can continue to get paid more than they should.
Yeah, it's sort of fascinating. They create a situation in which, so we have the exact opposite of what we want, way too many lawyers and not enough doctors. Obviously, we'd love the situation to be reversed. But the AMA has, I actually see it as like they've overreached so much, they've constricted supply so much that now the healthcare industry is chipping away at what are their disciplines and where is the line between them and other medical professionals, because it's just, you need someone has to do the work, right? Like at a certain point, like even the fucking wealthy hospitals can't get people. So what are they going to do? And they're going to come up with some other methodology. So now there's all these other health professionals that are slowly eating responsibilities from doctors, and the doctors are pissed about it. But hey, guess what, fuckers? You created the situation.
Brad?
And now that'll be me. So I will be eating all that bullshit work, but I'll be, whatever. Now, there's another sort of interesting factor about that the AMA doesn't really have a lot of. I'm not familiar with how much control they have over this, but it's the matching process within the medical schools, right? Like med schools are so cutthroat, are so competitive. These kids are all just at each other's throats to get these good matches because, you get rid of all the assholes that just want to go into orthopedics and dermatology. Like, fuck them, put them over there. No one gives a shit. Like, you're all assholes. They all want, $1 billion straight out of school.
Yes.
But then,
fun fact, all the quote unquote smartest and most ambitious doctors become fucking dermatologists. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, on top of that, we had one derm guy who was lecturing us who he also does cytology. Like he'll not only will he cut it out, but he'll put it under a microscope and look at it. And so he gets to double bill as like a lab and like a derm office, and he's just like shitting money because it takes 3 minutes to cut out a weird looking mole and another 4 minutes to put it under a light microscope and look at it, and you just build $15,000. Like it's absurd.
And it takes you 3 years to earn the money to pay for it.
Yeah, and if we had more doctors, maybe you couldn't charge those fees, and people would start to realize that any dumbass could probably do that if they went to any med school.
I know that we have a lot of dermatologists that listen to the show, but I just want them all to know that huge. I mean, we're huge in the derm community.
Number one derm podcast.
Every person on this podcast has excellent skin. That's how you were selected, actually.
I don't know if you guys have been on
true.
the subreddit Derm and Awful, but it's hopping.
Yeah.
Someone kill this man. Will it materially affect me? Yes, but I've clearly shown I'm willing to take the hit materially to see the right thing done. That's what socialism is all about. I can't be more clear. Kill this man.
You know what? Like, do you know in Atlanta you can do door-to-door Botox injections for about $200 a pop? And
I
you can
love this country.
Oh,
Door-to-door
my God.
Botox, but you can't get your fucking diabetic insulin. Hell yeah.
Wait. What certification do you need to give Botox? Because it sounds like a
fucking dentists can give Botox, so not much. But I'm going to come out with the first like Botox and methadone door-to-door service. And what I'm going to do for all like the rich people that are addicted to opioids that are too embarrassed to go to a methadone clinic, I will go to them. I will have a little like backpack that squirts out methadone, and I will hand it to them in a cup.
Or just mix it together in the syringe and just inject it straight into their face.
I mean, I don't know what a combination of methadone and a paralytic would do, like sub-Q, but
I'll take this one
to find out.
Also, methadone clinics are sort of going out of style. People just prescribe it and you just pick up the pills. That's what killed the Kennedy girl recently, apparently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's up there partying on methadone, Xanax, Valium, just everything at once.
All right, all the things. Yeah,
That'll do it. That'll do it.
The millennials are killing the Kennedy industry.
When you're like, you know what, let me toss back 2 methadone and then head out into the night.
That's hardcore.
If that's the start of your evening, look, there are rulers for a reason. They're just more alpha.
Yeah, I'm totally comfortable being the beta in that situation because fuck.
Bro, you take like 2 Xanax and 4 methadone and tuck into a lobster roll, you're gonna have a good time. If you want to talk debate briefly, and I mean briefly,
Very briefly.
Very briefly, I did not see it.
Cory Booker was more on point than most people, like surprisingly on point.
But he couldn't resist the technocratic impulses. So like he had a really good stretch where he was talking about how insane the drug war is. And he actually seemed like a real person. He wasn't his normal, like weird, slightly off, like I'm trying too hard thing that he has.
The uncanny valley candidate.
Yeah, exactly. He was like
He really does look like a character from Half-Life 2.
He was actually authentic and passionate and making really good progressive points about how the drug war is just designed to abuse black people. There's more under watch in the prison system now than were under slavery in the 1800s. Like, he was crushing it. And then he turned it into a fucking knife into Joe Biden saying, like, I can't believe this dude came out this week claiming that we should still keep it illegal and try to make some joke about, like, I thought he was high when he said it. And Biden made, like, the best face for this. And he went on, but he had to end it. Like, he couldn't just stick the landing. He ended it with something about data and studies and technocratic solutions.
Animation just started
like,
glitching.
God damn it, Booker. Like, you were doing so well.
He started clipping through the stage.
Here's the thing. The corny will out. That's truth. And Cory Booker is one of the corniest dudes I've ever seen.
But yeah, he basically daggered Biden hard enough that Biden immediately went like, no,
Don't
no, I'm
put
totally.
that fucking image of Cory Booker daggering Joe Biden in my mind.
No, it's
too
there.
late.
Just a dance hall beat and Biden's bouncing. He does the thing where he picks up Biden from behind, picks him up, and then they just go fully parallel, slam him on the ground and start jumping.
Yes. Well, from one dumbass to another one. Did you guys see the Elon Musk truck?
Yes.
It's amazing. I've already pre-ordered one.
Yeah, it's so cool.
The best joke I saw about that was someone said it was designed on a PlayStation 1.
Well, no, it'd be designed on the Xbox 360 because it looks like the warthog from Bloodsong Gulch.
Yeah, no, the PlayStation 1, though, is because of the pixelation graphics. PlayStation 1, the way it animated everything was just via huge triangles. So that's exactly what Warhog and Twisted Metal looks like.
I feel like I just got fucking out nerd stabbed to death. Like I feel like you leapt at me with some nerd reference and like the Night King, I caught your neck and I was like, and then you just slipped it in the chink in my armor. You found the vulnerability spot and you hit it. So I didn't know enough about gaming, which is so often the case
Rob,
on this podcast.
actually, the PS1 has a far lower polygon count, so your riff is moronic and quite boorish.
Actually, Stadia has only 40% the pixel count of even an Xbox One. So,
also true. Anyway, his truck. I actually like the look of it.
It looks like shit, man.
I will say that it was like the fucking Elon Musk truck has a tail bed that goes to the ground so you can drive your ATV straight into it.
That was so bizarre.
That like this is a video game. Like this is like the fucking Star Trek Nemesis.
I didn't know about that. That's cool, actually. I want one now. I also want an ATV.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's like, hey, check out this dumb truck. Guess what? There's a little baby dumb truck inside.
It's the Russian nesting doll of idiocy.
I love this dumb lib version of like the pickup truck. Because on the right, like you get the F-150 Platinum and you just roll coal. And that's what I want to do. That's why I'm going to get Elon's new Tesla truck. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it and I'm going to roll coal. Not the fuel. I'm just going to put some sick subwoofers in there and blare Cole Porter everywhere I go.
Well,
it doesn't matter if I'm sure they'll figure out the kinks with the windows because that's going to be real important. The shatterproof windows when I do that. I'm going to roll through Birmingham, Alabama, just fucking Bees do it, even educated fleas, and just every conservative so triggered. He's gay, but we can't get at him. I just roll down the window a little bit and I go, I actually learned about this from Midnight in Paris. Are you familiar with Woody Allen? And then roll it up as quickly as I can.
I mean, I think, again, and I hate to be the serious one here, they're doing this instead of making like electric cars more affordable, like making versions of the various Tesla cars that are like accessible to some schlug like me. But no, we're going to make a truck that looks like, you know, the car from Mass Effect 1, and it probably handles about as well. That's
Bro,
another
stop
video
selling.
game.
I'm already interested.
The Mako.
It is also the parallels with Mass Effect are real because apparently the 3rd edition of the truck will very creepily let you have sex with a minor.
So speaking of genius innovations, Disney Plus already got hacked, and it's only been a week.
Cool.
Next.
I thought when you were talking about genius and Disney, have you seen this? Like, you know, all the promos are coming out because the Star Wars movie's coming out.
Right.
They literally have DDR2D2.
Now,
seen that?
what?
It does sound kind of genius. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's R2D2, but he's just got like big naturals. Sorry, you may continue.
Oh, no.
Anyway, yeah, Disney has more money than anyone in the universe except maybe Apple. Knew they were doing this for ages, have bought every possible franchise to guarantee success, had advertised continuously, made ESPN quote unquote journalists into their paid advertisers, couldn't figure out basic controls for the platform and immediately got hacked. Hell yeah, baby.
Well, what do you get if you hack Disney Plus? You get like the people's information.
You
You get to watch the Avengers as much as you want. You understand? This is like ascending to Valhalla. This is a stupid question you just asked.
You get credit card info. That's the reason you hack any of these sites.
Got it. Okay, so they weren't just hacking to like see The Simpsons.
From one shitty topic to another.
No!
Fartgate.
Please.
I fucking
Kill this man. Rob, I wasn't convinced before, but fucking kill this man.
This is I haven't seen a fart debate. It doesn't matter. I was going to say since Lincoln Douglas and just try to imply that like this Sowell, that it's all actually fine and every legislator's been farting their way all the way through.
Yeah, so Swalwell went on Chris Matthews, and there's a video where while he's talking, there's a slight pause while he's in between words, and you just hear a massive fart rip. And so everyone,
I mean, it was a legit fart. Like somebody
that was like,
felt
it was a good
It's a
one.
serious
It was impressive. And
That was some IBS
everyone
farts
blames
right there.
Swalwell, which is insane because Swalwell was giving a remote interview, and that fart was crystal clear audio. Like that shit was, sorry, not shit. I should use different word here. It was so perfect. You could hear every tone. You could hear what food was eaten earlier that day. Like you could hear every aspect of that fart. That is a studio mic picking that up.
Yeah.
That is not
Yeah,
a
that's
remote
not-
mic.
Yeah, no, that's a professional.
That was Chris
fart, yeah.
Matthews for sure. That was Chris Matthews. He was like, "Oh, it's on some other idiot. My mic's off. All right." My favorite response though was a journalist went through and they were like, "All right, everybody says I'm a conspiracy theorist, but he's been farting on the air for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Here's all of these examples." And it's just a thread of times Chris Matthews ripped it on air.
I think it was actually Feinberg did that.
Oh my god, Brett, you're gonna just need to cut an entire chunk of my audio here.
Now, and the best part about this was Eric Swalwell followed up this in a very incredible news week for him by straight up knifing Devin Nunes on live television during the hearing with one of the Russia experts who flat out
Thank you, by the
said-
way. Thank you for saying knifing instead of daggering this time. I've already got one image that I'm trying to push out of my head. I don't need a new one. Thank you, Brad.
Eric Swalwell blew out Devin Nunes' back walls.
No, it's not about sex. It's
He
a
went
form
deep.
of dancing. It's when the beat gets you and you just got to grab that thick ass Swalwell ass and just bounce. I'm talking one leg in the air shaking as you do like NBA style dunks. You get hang time and then you land on that ass.
You gotta hit those swell walls.
Oh, God.
Kill him. It's not hard. He's so soft. Just do something.
I regret nothing.
Long story short,
That's the problem.
the top Republican in the Intelligence Committee is about to become a witness, which is hysterical.
Devin Nunes, by the way, actual Portuguese intelligence asset.
No fucking shit. Like,
By the way, good for them.
Yeah,
Good
no, I
for
know.
them.
They need
Portugal
something.
can steal all the secrets that they want.
Bro, they had to put in no work to get that asset either. It's fascinating. You could see it happen in real time.
What is the worst that could, realistically, what's the worst that could happen if Portugal got total intelligence penetration on the United States?
I kind of forgot about Portugal.
Just in general.
I just haven't thought about them in maybe months.
Fuck. Actually, you know what I just realized? This is almost me having a senseless thought.
Let's go.
The current pretender to the French throne, either through House Orleans or from the Bourbons, is currently someone of significance in the Portuguese government. I would love to see Devin Nunes like bring back the ancient regime.
Austrian.
Don't correct me on my pronunciation. It's Albert Camus and the ancient regime. I'm not trying to impress you with the way I muddy my fucking vowels.
and at this point, the French, with how they feel about Macron, will be like, yes, fine, he's fine, no problem.
We get it. You've taken 2 semesters of French.
Yeah.
Tone it back.
Bring back the ancient regime, the Bourbon dynasty, and the Orleans.
I'm sorry, Brad. Is there something before we go on to a royal pedophile?
No.
Which is like a normal pedophile, but better.
But with fancy hats.
You can just say royal.
I'm good to go.
Royal pedophile? Let's go. Let's fucking do this.
So after his disastrous interview last week, Prince Andrew has now been kicked out of Buckingham Palace. Apparently they do, biggest air quotes in the world here, jobs as royals, and he's been removed from whatever duties he had.
He lost his official offices, but still has a private residence. So, you know, it's just pedophilia. It's not whatever it would take to get you kicked out of Buckingham Palace on a residential level.
Bro, if pedophilia got you kicked out of your job in England, there would be no one in power anymore.
The House of Lords.
You're going to have to amend
would not
that when
exist.
Jeremy Corbyn gets
Is he in power? Yeah, I was going to say, when he gets in power, we'll talk.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Prince Andrew?
No, I just think
wanna actually-
I just think
Actually,
you
so
should
this-
cut the Jeremy Corbyn's a pedophile bit.
Nope. See, that's the thing. That's what you anti-Semitic far left psychos want me to do. You don't want me to tell the truth. But me and at least several Rupert Murdoch fucking publications, we stand in true solidarity that Jeremy Corbyn is a pedophile, or mayhap, according to Brett's theory, becomes one on the day of his annunciation. When you meet the Queen, the Prime Minister, she says a secret thing. Now, Boris Johnson obviously splurted it out a little bit, but normally she goes, have as many children as you want. Also, the corgis are fair game. No one's ever taken her up on that offer, but she has to offer it every time, much like the speaker hitting the doors of Parliament and having them shoved in their face. It's about ceremony. It's beautiful.
Andrew has responded to this by insisting that he gets to do another interview to clear up his
I'm so excited.
his misstatements from the previous one.
Hell yes.
If there was any justice in the world, it wouldn't be the Dem debates. It would be that interview that gets played open door in every bar in Manhattan. People on the street should just walk by and look in at the TVs and just see this great man. The premise from second one of that interview is, but really, I'm not a pedophile. Which, if that's where we're starting, I'm in for the whole journey.
The best part is it spawned. I mean, now some housemaid that Epstein used to have has just thrown more fuel on the fire.
Can you please explain the actual context around this story? Because it's
Yes.
it's sort of the thing that was so damning that he had to, even as a member of the royal family, a literal prince, they're like, no, this is too much, buddy.
Slightly
Yeah, so-
too much pedophilia.
A housekeeper at one of Epstein's mini properties, this one in New Mexico, said Prince Andrew was, quote unquote, given a beautiful medic to keep and make him horny tea, is what he requested as well.
Brad.
Just like,
It's called Sleepy Time Tea. I don't know. I don't know anything about tea. I apologize.
Andrew is in trouble because the story had him staying at Epstein's ranch in New Mexico with a beautiful
neurosurgeon medic. They're not very specific on that one.
There to help him procure
yes.
masseuses.
I think if you're a neurosurgeon, you're not a medic. Maybe you could.
Yeah,
have,
no,
like,
it was. That's why I was like, something about this is weird.
Called
but
double
basically,
classing?
just like, I mean, it's just basically more fuel on the fire of like he went to Epstein's ranch and was given a young woman to take care of him, and then kept asking for horny tea. I was like, all right, you painted enough of a picture.
It's just romantic. It's like this is basically Pride and Prejudice. He's Colin Firth.
The side bit about this that I enjoy is everyone in the British press going, how do you even fire royalty? And seeing the responses of guillotines and Bolsheviks.
The French figured out how to fire royalty really well. Like that's a 200-year-old problem that we solved. Moving on.
They've done it a few times.
Listen, Brits, we've all been waiting for you to reach this obvious conclusion. Please take care of the problem.
And my preference.
Satire.
I mean, to be fair, the British did kill their king one time, but it brought like the death of the Irish with it. So
yeah, no, it's like okay, we killed our king,
versus
so we
keeping
can kill
the king.
the Irish more.
yeah,
It's the most English way
versus
to kill
keeping
your
the king
king.
where the yeah, I was saying versus keeping the king where the Irish were just protected. Nobody ever fucked with them. I'm sure all the Irish are like, they're gonna kill us no matter what. Fuck it. All right. Anyway, we talk about something else.
Sorry, I'm still imagining Prince Andrew in Pride and Prejudice. Just standing at the dance hall when he first meets the Bennets, just like, surely none of these women are handsome enough for me. It's because they're all legal.
what was
Listen to me, Elizabeth. Listen to me. In vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently horny this tea has made me. It's a great book. I'm not saying it'd be better or worse with Prince Andrew. I'm just saying if we can do the one with zombies, why can't we do a current one?
Sorry, I got super distracted because I record in like this little library and I just saw a book in front of me called Wiener Passion.
No, that's Weimar Passion.
I also have a copy of Mein Kampf next to me.
Yeah,
what
but
if we only let them fuck us a little bit, guys? It's just a tepid romance novel.
Yeah, but the Mein Kampf copy doesn't count if you brought it with you everywhere you go.
I'm just podcasting from a library in Austria surrounded by notes on German history.
I was gonna say, how is the weed in Austria?
I actually I have not bought any in Austria.
Is it legal in Austria?
No.
Okay, Brett, there's the problem right there. Mason is not going to find a random Austrian street dealer. He's not going to go to Washington Square Park of Vienna and be like, yo, what's up, you holding?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Somebody from school might have some weed.
Apparently really shitty is what I've heard. I haven't tried.
Yeah, that's probably what they tell you because you're currently podcasting in an Austrian library.
Like, nah, man.
That Mason guy is fucking weird. He sits around with a copy of Mein Kampf within arm's reach at any given time. He's yelling about socialism. I don't like this guy.
Yeah. Are we going to move on from this bit? Because we've been just
Oh, I thought
hovering here.
thought
for
that
the
this
was-
is a bit?
It's just a conversation. Not everything is a bit.
What?
Why do you have to classify and commodify all of your interactions? Is it because of ideology? Welcome to chapter 1.
It's because it's fucking 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, who is in 1:30 a.m. in a library in Vienna talking about Hitler?
Someone who can't buy weed.
Fuck you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. This is Brett at Relentless Board. We had Rob at Dumb and Awful. We had Mason as Yuzak Thoughty. We had Brad at Fizz a Shizzle. Join us on Discord.
You want to hear what Daniel Day-Lewis says Lincoln would sound like if he farted in the middle of an interview? I have it. It's already. It's in the chamber. Which is actually what he said right before the quote.
God fucking damn.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening.